Wenham Museum, located in Wenham, Massachusetts, is a popular historical site to Essex County. The museum's motto, "How we have lived, worked, dressed, and played from the 17th century to today," reflects the types of items and galleries it has. Adeline Cole opened the museum in 1953 after purchasing the Claflin Richards house and receiving a huge donation of dolls from Elizabeth Richards Horton. After a few renovations and additions, the Wenham Museum has become what it is today. Within the museum, there are several main galleries: the famous doll gallery, the display train gallery, and the clothing and textile gallery. Some of the smaller galleries include the Toy Soldier, and the Circus Gallery. The largest and best known part of the museum is their doll collection. In total, the museum possesses approximately 5,000 dolls in total and displays about 1,000 of them at a time. Here there are a wide variety of dolls, ranging from European play dolls to expensive display dolls and dolls from different cultures around the world. The International Doll Collection, a gallery within a gallery, is the entire focus of the whole doll collection at the museum. In 1922, Elizabeth Richards Horton donated her entire doll collection to the museum, and it has been very popular ever since. The dolls of celebrities, high officials, and leaders of countries around the world, such as Queen Victoria and Tsarina Alexandra, gave their dolls to Elizabeth Horton's collection. There are dolls from various Indian tribes, dolls from China, lots of dolls from Japan, and dolls from many other countries all around the world. The most famous doll in the whole museum is Miss Columbia. She traveled around the world by boat and train from 1900 to 1902 as part of doing charitable work such as visiting hospitals and orphanages for her caretaker Elizabeth Horton. She left her home on April 12, 1900. Throughout her journey around the world, she collected many items from the people she met. After staying in the Philippines for about a year, Miss Columbia started the long journey home to Boston. She returned to Elizabeth Horton on December 25, 1902. Outside of the International Doll Collection, the Wenham Museum has a variety of other interesting dolls. There are dolls made of different materials such as cloth and porcelain to exemplify their different uses over time. The cloth dolls were generally play dolls because they were so durable and wouldn't break easily. Porcelain dolls were extremely expensive and used mostly for display. These usually came with entire wardrobes of clothing. Other materials used to make dolls include wood, spools, corn husk, coconut, paper mache, and plastic. From the mid to late 20th century, dolls began to become modeled after popular cultural icons or characters. These included characters from the Addams Family TV show, Star Wars, Pinocchio, and the Muppets, as well as many other themes. One of the smaller galleries is the Clothing and Textile Gallery. It contains several articles of women's clothing, some from around the Victorian era, and some from the mid to late 1900s. Every 3 months, the clothing rotates to showcase different items. Some of the older pieces of clothing have a tight corset with a large bell-shaped skirt to maximize the hourglass shape. This was popular during this time period. Today, wedding dresses to us are white. However, this wasn't always true. The bride would just wear her best dress, no matter what color it was, such as this one. Another gallery at the Wenham Museum is the Train Gallery. Located beneath the Doll Gallery, the Train Gallery has 2 main sections: an interactive display featuring moving trains and a showcase of different model trains. At the interactive display, there are several different layouts including trains that move with the push of a button, model towns, and plaques detailing information about each particular layout. The towns in these displays are meant to represent actual towns surrounding Wenham in the late 1900s, such as Salem. Some of the buildings and industries are still in these towns to this day, such as the Salem Witch House and the Wenham Tea House, as well as many other buildings. One of the focuses of the Train Gallery is to express their importance to the development of America as we know it today. They allowed cities and towns to spring up out west and in places far from any water source. Railroads and trains were key in moving supplies around the country, as well as laying the foundation for the important industry of mining. The Wenham Museum is rich in historical content and has 3 main galleries. First, their famous doll gallery showcases different types of dolls from many cultures, such as French and Japanese dolls, and gives insight on how people dressed as well as played in their respective time periods. Next, in the Clothing and Textiles Gallery, clothing styles from the Victorian era up until the mid to late 1900s are featured. And finally, the Train Gallery contains interactive train layouts and information about towns surrounding Wenham from the mid to late 20th century. These trains formed the backbone of the early American infrastructure and allowed many towns and cities to develop into what they are today. The Wenham Museum is a great place to see how we have lived, worked, dressed, and played from the 17th century to today.